and welcome to the first ever Rachio Pro Show. I'm one of your hosts around here, Sean. I'm the Senior Director of Rachio Pro. And joining me at this time is Chris, our co-founder here at Rachio. Chris, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Doing fantastic, man. It's August already. A lot of the season is behind us. My daughter went back to school this week. Short summer, long summer for you? What do you think, man?
Both. Kids are going back to school.
I hear you. I understand.
Next week, it's kind of bittersweet. Been enjoying my time with them, but also looking forward to getting back to some routine
and some peace and silence.
Yeah,
No
totally.
slamming of doors or kids or like on the floor. Yeah, yesterday I had a meeting interrupt. I'm like, only a couple more days of this with the trampling that goes on upstairs. But no, good summer trips, summer memories, all that good stuff. Want to welcome everybody that's watching tonight on this first ever broadcast, Chris. Very exciting. 18 folks in the chat already. And if you want to just hang out for a little bit, this will be posted on a replay. So, stay as long as you can and enjoy. Chris, this stream, I think you and I have talked about this for probably a year plus.
Absolutely.
And, I hate this excuse, but it's a real one, especially like we do. It's just always like finding the time, getting around to it. But I'm so glad we're doing it, man. It's the only way to do it. Dive in the pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And appreciate you kind of pushing us in.
Yeah. Well, as long as you have your wings on, I'll be there. So
yeah, totally.
But no, we were talking about it. And, one thing I would say for a CEO, especially, Chris loves getting out in the field, and I love getting out in the field as well. Working with the pros, shout out to our rep groups, our distribution partners, pros that we meet at trade fairs, conventions, trade shows, conventions, all that good stuff. And Chris really enjoys being out in the field as well. And quite frankly, we were just looking for a way that doesn't, take us out of the office so much to interact, one-to-one with the pros. And we figured this is the next logical step. We'll have a live show. I love the unpredictability of it. You guys can fire off whatever you want. We're going to answer as openly and as honestly as we possibly can. And look, Chris, we get a lot of feedback from the pros through forums, through emails, etc. Even posted, hey, submit your questions for this. I just love that we can kind of do it in one sort of collective spot instead of piecemeal,
Yeah, for sure. This is a great way to do it.
Yeah. So, all right. With that being said, let's take a look here in the chat. Shout out to Jesse. Jesse, thank you for whelming. Hello to you. Hello to you, sir. We got Jeremy out there. Thanks for doing. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. And again, guys, this is the very first one. So it's only up from here. We hope you enjoy what we're doing here, and we welcome any and all feedback. This show is really for you guys and for us to hear you. And I want you to be heard, be seen. And we'll see how long it goes. And then we'll talk about future updates. But Chris, to jump right in, let's get into something kind of exciting that's kind of brewing here behind the scenes at Rachio. Something that has been requested and quite frankly is needed. Pro account management. Do we have an update on that as far as in-app roles and pro account management?
Yeah, and a long time coming. So love talking about product here. One of the things that we're going to be releasing probably this fall, and I know it's not obviously in season, but we like to get features out, when we can, and then obviously we'll continue to get feedback from everyone and improve them throughout the season of 2026. But we are going to be developing the idea of business accounts, and so you'll have the ability to have a specific owner of the account. That could be the business owner. It could be someone else. There'll be an administrator role most likely. So you'll have the ability to add other roles, and you'll have ability to kind of set permissions on properties and devices and things like that. And then we'll also have something kind of close to probably like a tech role, where you can just give certain permissions for devices, properties, you sort of name it, to the techs. And so it's just a nice role-based, I think what you would see in almost any business kind of software solution, that role-based solution that has obviously owners and administrators and collaborators / techs.
Yeah, and one of the biggest features of this is this will sort of disable the ability from anything going sideways, even accidentally, Chris. If you have a tech out there and for some reason they go deep into the menus and decide to wipe the entire slate of controllers off of your account, they'll no longer be able to do this. There'll definitely be a lot of different controls in place to mitigate that.
Yeah, we know it's a deficiency of what we, our current account setup, where you have to share logins with folks, and accident or not, things can happen. And like you said, Sean,
Yeah.
we've seen a couple of times where folks go in and delete the account. And if you were the owner of those properties and those controllers, unfortunately, it deletes those as well. We've been able to help recover those in certain situations, but I think this will help protect against that for sure, and add other features as well.
And what I love about our company is we can take that feedback, and we'll meet on it, decide when and where it fits in terms of the bandwidth and priorities and all that. And this is an example of something that started as an idea, been rumbling, but it started getting hot a few months ago, and here we are, a few months later, really able to put it on in a relatively short turnaround. So shout out to the team on that. We cannot wait to give you more details, and perhaps, Chris, in addition to emails and of course it being pushed out over an update on the Rachio app, maybe we could kind of dive into it on a future episode of the Rachio Pro Show and kind of walk them through those roles, at least at a high level, so they can see what to expect.
Oh, totally. Yeah, we should do that.
Cool. All right. And then, of course, probably the biggest news for the company, we are launching another product, another hardware product. Chris, what do they say about hardware? I forget how it goes. What is it?
I mean, it's hard. Probably something like that.
Yeah, no, it is. So this is, obviously, came to the table, gained prominence. Rachio as a company, as a brand for the irrigation controller. Had other couple of things out. We've got the smart hose timer out currently, etc. But now we're getting into another category entirely with the smart lighting controller update. Talk to me a little bit about origin story on this and where we're at now.
Yeah, the company did some research on this product. We found out that a lot of our customers, have low voltage lighting. I want to say it's like 40 to 50% of them. And on top of that, a huge percentage of them have more than one of these controllers. And so we'll talk a little bit about how we designed for that as we kind of dive into the product. But it just seemed like a really good space to jump into. And then obviously it goes hand in hand with, contractors and pros that are installing irrigation, low voltage lighting.
Absolutely. And for those of you that have been under a rock and haven't seen it, but if you're here, I'm hoping you've seen it. Here she is, Chris. And I think you have one in hand as well. And also water.
Sitting right here. Yep. And I got it plugged in.
Look at this. We're going to full screen Chris. There it is in the flesh, man.
Yeah. So, it's not massive. This is 200 watts right here.
That little thing holds 200 watts. Get out of here, man.
Yep. 3 zones. We'll talk probably a little bit more about this, but it's Matter enabled. So the onboarding experience is really nice. You just scan that QR code, and as long as you're on the Wi-Fi, it kind of takes care of the rest. And obviously there's all kinds of other cool stuff you can do with Matter, but yeah, this is the product.
There you go. And here's some additional shots on it. If you haven't visited, go to rachio.com, click controllers, and under there see our smart lighting controller. But beautiful piece of kit. It's been really cool to be aboard and with the team since the first rumblings in text form on this and through all the iterations, and to see it come out. Chris, you got to be proud of the team as you always are on this kind of stuff, but everything came out beautiful. I mean, this app, dude, incredible.
Yeah. I mean, the app's super easy to use. There's some really neat features to it. One of my favorite features, going back to what we talked about in our research, where we found out, a good amount of our customers have more than one of these. And sometimes there's one in the back, and one in the front yard. And the team did an awesome job making this act as one big system. So, since we love showing off product here, this is my house right here. And what's super interesting about this one is
now, Chris, it's all in the same app. There's no need to download a second Rachio lighting app for this.
That's right. So you can see I've got my hose timer, my controller, my Tempest weather station, and then obviously my lighting controller. And each lighting controller has 3 zones. And so in this one, I have 2 lighting controllers, which you'll be able to see right here. I've got my front yard and my backyard. And then, but it acts as one system, so I can schedule across those controllers. So I could, for example, put all my path lights. I think I've got one into an area, and I can turn those on and off, just like it's one controller. But it's actually there's a path lights in the front of my yard and path lights in the back of my yard. So it's really slick how the team has kind of brought that together.
Now, one of the questions we get a lot, Chris, is do you have to sort of split up the wattage any certain way? Is there a max on each zone?
No, you can split up however you want. You have 200 watts to work with. You can put it all on one zone if you want, or split it however you like between 3 zones.
There you go.
Another really neat feature, I think, as you're in the field is we have the ability to kind of measure the wattage. So what's being used on each one of those controllers. So you can see I've got my lights off right now. There's no wattage being used right now. And then let me turn that on.
Come on, man. Use some wattage, man. Come on.
All right, let's get it going. And all right, turned on all my lights. Wattage. And then let's see what we got here from a wattage standpoint. Oh, hold on. And all right. And you can see we've got the wattages ticked up.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So that's 32% being on one of them and 22 on the other. So you've got plenty of headspace there for that. And I think, going with 200 watts definitely gives that ability. Chris, there'd be nothing like you just wanted to squeeze 1 or 2 more lights in and we just didn't have the capacity for it. You know what I mean? So I think we went a little big with this one, and I think that was intentional just to make sure everybody can get everything done they want.
Yeah, totally.
And I think for a lot of folks on the team that are getting into it, realizing what kind of vast canvas they have, homes of any size, quite frankly, with any lot size, you can get into a lot with these with the lighting controllers. And obviously, for those that are new to it, we got your back. But then if you're just simply looking to sort of displace and replace your existing controller, I think this would fit in perfectly for you.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a question right now on what protocol we might use for accessories here. This is
we're using Matter. Yeah, hey, Jose with a question. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
No, yeah, we're using Matter, and so we're really excited about how that ecosystem will grow, and how we can use this lighting controller to talk to lights and accessories that maybe we don't even develop. That's obviously the exciting.
And there it is, right there, Chris, front and center. Matter, much more to come. I feel like we're one of the but one of the sort of pioneering companies with Matter. We got on board early. Can you set the table just high level in layman's terms best we can for what Matter does and what Matter means to folks that are going to be grabbing this controller and what that's going to set up for them as far as the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think the simplest way to think about it is, one, it's going to make integration a lot easier with Apple Home, Google Home, Alexa. So, some of the platforms that maybe your customers already have at their house, I think contractors will even be able to help them set that up very, very easily. And then accessories as well. So what are the other devices that are in the yard that you can maybe talk to through using our controller, right? And the Matter controller on board. And so as we think about lights and maybe Matter over Thread, there's some opportunities there to kind of control lighting fixtures that I think could be super exciting, especially in the multicolor space.
Just as a gearhead and also somebody who's been in smart home, Chris, I can't believe it. 10 years I've been in smart home, starting with security, even did smart toys, to finally have sort of I don't know if governing body is the word, but just to kind of have a unified sort of approach with this is such a breath of fresh air. I think we would probably be further along the journey of the promise or the movie we all played in our mind 10 years ago, that we'd be a little bit more like the Jetsons, but it turned out each sort of brand wanted to rule their own space with their app. And I love that, probably, for upside of revenue, let's face it, has put aside their differences, at least to a degree, and let it be all under one sort of control here is very exciting. And I think the real winners are going to be the consumers, as long as all goes as planned, of course, with that. But I think, people will be able to sort of get a little bit more automated and more into that sort of Jetsons life we were all dreaming of with Matter.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, speaking of which, it looks like someone can we get that feature for irrigation? Oh, there we go.
Here we go. Can we get that feature? So A says, can we get that feature with the irrigation controller, multiple controllers on a site combined in the app? And that was actually coming up later in the Q&A. We get that one a lot, Chris. You want to hit that now or get to it in a bit and just run through the specs real quick? What do you want to do?
No, I mean, let's jump into that one. I think that's okay. we can leave this up. We can talk about specs here in a minute. Okay. And I think look, we are committed to solving this. And I would say that we probably wouldn't have said that. I mean, Sean, you've heard me maybe even 2-3 years ago. It was like, hey, we can't focus on that right now. It's a complicated problem. You know, I don't know how many there are, you know, we're going to be selling out there at, you know, 24 zones and above, or even like the linked controllers. But we hear it on a regular basis now. And we understand that, you know, if you've even got one property that, you know, has a larger zone.
Requires that. Yeah.
And so we're committed to solving this problem. I can say we don't know yet how we're going to do it. There are a couple alternatives, right? Obviously, one is building just a bigger controller. Another one is allowing for daisy chaining of the controllers we have. And I know because I see it a lot in the forums and you know, questions we get asked like, "Hey, it's just software. Shouldn't that be easy?" It's a little complicated, and you know, I think we've learned a lot with what you saw here on the smart lighting controller. We can also schedule across multiple valves on the hose end timer. But you know, the irrigation controller is a little bit more legacy. And so there's just some work for us to do there to really figure out how best to do that, and also support like kind of the smart scheduling features that, you know, we've developed over a decade. And so it's not that we don't want to, we're just trying to figure out the smartest way to do it. And it might be one or the other. It might be both. There could be some staging there. Obviously, we'd love to be able to support scheduling across multiple irrigation controllers. And so I think the team is really committed to trying to find the right solution to do that. And then I think there's obviously opportunities just to build a bigger controller.
Yep. And I'll just say, as someone who feels the brunt of it and raises my hand a bunch, and Chris will tell you that, there's probably no more than 2 weeks, I would say, even over a holiday break, right? I'll go, "Hey, Chris, what's going on with the..." So we hear you. We're looking at solutions, I think, more, like Chris said, you know, vigorously than we have before. We hear you. We want to make something happen. So stay tuned for announcements on that. We understand the pain points, and we don't want you guys to feel any of that. And, you know, we appreciate your loyalty and sticking with us while we're figuring it out. But like Chris said, unfortunately, it's not just as simple as a magic wand. We got a lot of talented folks. And believe me, if it was that easy, we would have, you know, just busted it out very quickly. But we're working on it. And when we do it, we want to do it the right way, the way that makes sense, the way you expect for us to do it. So appreciate you bearing with us on that. Chris, on the specs.
Yeah.
On this, anything jumping out to you, like versus, you know, the competition or what's available out there? I guess talk me through why some of the choices were made on this. I mean, obviously everybody gets to enjoy, we've talked about it, our world-class app. We already have, you know, fans of Rachio that'll, you know, hopefully just naturally accept this because they're already rocking with us. They've already enjoyed our products over the years. But was there anything sort of extra that jumps out at you as far as choices we made outside of the design, which, by the way, tiny box, that's never been done, right? But anything you want to call out here? Or?
No, I mean, I think, you know, tiny box, obviously, but the reality is that we put a solid state power supply in here. So, you know, this is pretty lightweight. I think it's, what is it, like 3.5 pounds or something like that?
I have that right here.
Yeah, you got the specs up, right? What is this?
311. So 3 pounds 11 ounces. A little baby boy right there.
Yeah. And so compared to like the toroidal solutions, you know, it's a much smaller form factor. And you know, one of the things that I was excited about with this design early on is that it, in some ways, feels, you know, almost like an outdoor smart plug. And we have some really neat ways to hang it. But at the same time, you know, we know that customers might throw it in the dirt. They might, you know, prop it up against the wall.
And you tested yours that way.
Yeah. And I know it's not like, that's not the install we want, but I want it to feel like, you know, that it could be, right? That this is just, it's almost like a big outdoor plug, and you can kind of get your 3 zones in there. The solid state really stops the flickering, allows for some nice dimming. So, you know, this definitely supports dimming. And then, like I said, I think just the control across the zones, and then the scalability of these controllers into like one big controller with a ton of different zones and different ways to schedule them in areas, and and then actually put them in different types of schedules. It's sort of the way that we do software, and we brought it to the low voltage lighting at a reasonable cost too.
No, for sure. And yeah, I think we're situated nicely right there in the middle. Obviously, there's some higher end solutions, higher end in specs, I would say, Chris. You know what I mean? In capacity, right? But with that, it's going to come a price point. I think we're ultra competitive where we are. Some of the other ones that are sort of in this category are at like $800-900. So we've really made the lighting controller comparables, I would say. For everyone, just like we kind of unlocked, smart irrigation for everyone. Trend continues with this. Excited to see where it goes. I got to tell you, man, the feedback has been incredible. If people had the ability to literally knock on my door, they would be, because I'm getting messages daily about the availability of this. So to answer everybody's question on the smart lighting controller, it is available. We are going to be shipping our first pre-orders, and shout out to the Rachians in the chat answering some of the questions out there. We see you, but we've got the first wave is going to be shipping out here later in the month, Chris, and then it's going to kind of be released in batches, but it's not too late to get in on sort of the first few runs on this. And for those of you guys watching that are looking to install multiples, we do have a pre-sale 3-pack available where you'll save $100 off of it for grabbing 3 at once. It's in the bundle section of our website. Look, guys, it's early days. We're just getting these out. Chris, the philosophy here is we want to kind of control the amount that go out, learn from it if need be. We're all confident, full system go. But I guess I say that to say we are working on a contractor price, a contractor solution. We'll be working with your favorite distributors as well to get you pricing on that. But early days on this. This is the way they're being sold, but stay tuned. Soon we will have announcements in place of what those prices will look like, so we can take care of all of you out there.
Yeah, totally. And Sean, like you can sort of hit on, we want to control distribution early on, make sure that the product is up to the standards that we want as a company, and especially for contractors and pros that are selling these to homeowners. And I know we've even got a question that was sent in
from Matt.
Well, let's come back. Can we come back to this one, Sean?
Yeah. You want to go to 68? This one?
No, I think it was one that we allowed some pros to submit. Obviously pros and contractors submitted beforehand.
Yes. Yeah.
One of them was around, the HET hub. And I think this is a good segue into that. Yeah. And so, we've had some questions around the quality of the hub. And there's two sort of major things I think there that we can address. And one is the barrel connector. And so early on, one of the barrel connectors got spec'd too short, and it didn't set in the hub as well as we would like to, and it would easily kind of popped out if it was moved, and it would easily dislodge. And we know that was a pain point. And we've addressed that head on. We've solved that problem, obviously, in all future production runs. That was something from the past, but the reality is there's still some of that stock out there. It's a low percentage, but we know it's been a pain point, and we try to make it really easy in the app that if someone ever found that problem in the wild, we send them a new power supply right away. And so we take those learnings forward, even as we think about releasing the smart lighting controller, knowing that sometimes, there may be some things we don't see until it hits the field. So we're going to keep the volume low to start. And then what was also tied to this hose timer question, a lot of it was like, hey, when are we going to do something about, matter with hose timer? Obviously, matter over thread is a great opportunity for a hub and kind of spoke model with these valves. And the answer is, I think moving forward for all new hardware development, we're pretty committed to this platform. I can't say when we would do that from a hose timer perspective, but in any new rev on platform on product, specifically hardware, will be supporting the Matter protocol.
Yeah, so Rev next release of smart hose timer definitely would make every effort to try to make sure that's on board there. Again, in the interest of not only tying it together through a world-class app, and I'm going to keep saying that, Chris, because I really do feel it's the best app in the game today, but also to have the connectivity you'd expect and everything to work together from that perspective as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, guys, we hear you. One of the big questions we get, which Chris kind of tackled earlier, I actually had it loaded here again. 24 zone plus. We hear you. Daisy chaining. We absolutely hear you on that. Let's check in with the viewers here. Chris, we have Matt. We're gonna pull this one up.
Yeah.
Man, these are big. I'll see what we're this. I suggested adding tabs for wire faults and flow faults to the drop-down menu alongside the existing options like all, offline, etc. Do you have an estimated timeline for implementing this?
No, I don't. But that is a really good point. I assume you are talking about the filter in Pro Properties, right? So could you filter by properties with those alerts? And I think if that's what you're referring to, that is been on the roadmap, but not like an immediate feature that we've been looking to add. But I would say we should rethink that. That's a really good point, and honestly, we've probably forgotten about it. So good, valid request, and something that could totally be done. I think we just got to prioritize it.
There you go. Let's see. 68th, love your products. All I offer my customers. Would it be possible to sync two controls on the same site? So yeah, if you're just joining us, go back 5-10 minutes. Message received. It's definitely a focus for us now, and like we were saying, stay tuned. We're going to have hopefully a solve on that in the not too distant future for you on that.
Yeah, but the unfortunate, just the straightforward answer right now is we don't support it. Unfortunately,
we don't currently. Yeah. Gregio, fully agree with you on that, Sean. It is world class. Thank you, Greg. Is the number one fan right out there, right off the rip. Let's see.
Yeah, it should be possible to schedule cycle and soak for drip zones. I want to say, and I don't know for sure, but I want to say if you just create a schedule and you have drip zones in it, you can add your own automatic cycle and soak, right? Like we may not figure it out if we were to create. I think Smart Cycle may not work with drip zones. I'm not actually 100% sure. They might, but you can definitely set your own cycle and soak even if it's drip.
And Greg says you just got to get smart with scheduling when you have two Rachios in the same site. He does it all the time. He's in the Hamptons and it works out great. So
yeah, we know it's a pain.
We know it's possible. But I'm saying, hey, reach out to your boy Gregio out there. Maybe he can help you in the short term.
Yeah, valve monitoring. Hey, there's yeah.
So Zonstenipol. Issue of power supplies burning, multiple valves being plugged in the same valve port, 2 wires, 1 zone. Is there a way to have a warning, Chris? Perfect.
Yeah. So one, I mean, unfortunately, the hardware we don't really support that. I know you can do it. That said, every Pro Series controller comes with valve monitoring, so you can turn that on. You can baseline your readings and make sure that you're comfortable with that as a pro. And then if you want to try to control 2 valves from one terminal, you're welcome to do that. It'll give you the current read. And then, you can just watch for any changes and maybe you dial in the thresholds a little bit to make sure that, you're kind of running hot there.
There you go. And then Tina has a quick follow-up, Chris, on the cycle and soak for drip systems. Previews you can only do with spray systems. Has that changed?
Maybe, could we have, I don't know if the Rachio folks are on, but maybe they could answer that and someone could take a look. I thought for some reason you could make any schedule have
cycle the soak.
Yeah, you could add cycle and soak.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to spend too much time doing it here.
Yeah.
Let me just real quick. Let me just try something.
Cool.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So we've got support in here. Again, shout out to the team for, we're all kind of answering best we can here, but we don't currently support multiple valves being plugged into one terminal. However, Pro controllers come with our valve monitoring software feature. So definitely take advantage of that if you're out there.
And it does look like, I just checked with a drip valve, a drip zone. It does look like you can set a manual cycle and soak if you want to.
Hope that helps for you, Tina. And, as usual, if you have any questions, you can reach out to our support anytime you'd like. Again, big fan of our support team out there helping with all this. And of course, if you have any questions for us beyond the show, you can always reach out to us directly with any feedback, for the show or just for private show feedback. But for this little broadcast, and of course, any and all things pro, send it to pro@rachio.com, and we'll be happy to answer you on that. Let's see. Manual or automatic? It was manual, you said, Chris?
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. You can set a manual cycle and soak time.
Gotcha. And then one other follow-up from the Rachio support team. The valve monitoring feature will provide notifications if the current is higher or lower than your baseline reading. So, all right. Well, look, this is the first one. I feel like, a good start to this thing. Very happy with it. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you guys are catching this on replay, gang, if you're catching it after the fact, continue to put questions in here. Do our best to get them answered. And if not on this episode, please tune into future episodes. We'll figure out a schedule on this, Chris. I think we'll just kind of get them out as they come, and then we'll work into something a little more solidified. But we appreciate everyone sort of stopping by the maiden voyage of this show. And again, from the bottom of my heart, certainly, Chris, thanks to everyone out there watching and supporting Rachio and Rachio Pro. Your support means the world to us, and we're here to have more engagement, get more real-time feedback from you guys, and apply it to the work we're doing every day to help you help your customers out there. Chris, any closing thoughts?
No, I think you summed it up.
I tend to do that, I don't know. All right, well, let's see. All right, well, we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Thanks.
All right, see ya.